All right. Assalamualaikum. Hi, everyone. In Malaysia, it's already 8 p.m. at night. So I want to say good evening, everyone. Welcome. So as usual, go find your name in the participants tab and rename yourself with your country underscore and then your name. There's an example there. So if you're from Malaysia, you put Malaysia underscore ginseng, like how ginseng is done. If you're someone who probably need pen and paper to write notes, or you need a tablet, or you need anything, you can go grab them now and type in the chat. If you are not a teacher or educated today, what do you think your profession is probably going to be? Talking about alternative profession. Okay. All right, so welcome to Global Teacher Conversation. Today is 5th of August. So we're already in our second month in the 2023 chapter. This is really exciting. As I mentioned earlier in the meet and greet session, our sessions are looking more of an outward input this chapter. So last session, we had some people from the team of the video production team from RS Academy talking to us about their what they do, their experience, their inspiration, and also how their learning journey was and still is. This week, we will be exploring some of the stuff on C-suite development. So what is C-suite development? We will be exploring that in a bit. All right, so a little bit of Zoom notes. Perhaps you can mute if you're not speaking, but whenever you want to speak, go ahead and unmute yourself. Be present, switch on your video, please. We're going to keep this conversation as real as possible. So we would like to see your actual faces rather than your profile photos or your closed videos. So participate actively, okay? Don't be shy. Everyone here is a friend. A little bit of a GTC pillar principles as a reminder to us all, to myself and to every one of you. The very first pillar principle is to remain respectful to everybody. Let's be mindful of how we speak, how we behave, and how we communicate. Because we come from different backgrounds, we have all different experiences and different timeline in life. We want to make sure that we're being respectful to each other, right? And be supportive. No one here has English as their first language. So give space and time for your conversation partners. Ask questions. Get interested, right? Answer questions as well. And most importantly, like I said, make sure your video is on. You're not muted. Make sure that you are giving the impression to the other person that is speaking that they are being heard of. Okay. Right, a little bit of itinerary. So we will start in a bit, and then we'll talk about into the C-suite. What are some skills that they develop for the C-suite executives? We'll have our first conversation. What are some sort of quality of a leading leader? And then we will have sharing space. We will have our good friend here tonight, Rajendra, that will be sharing a little bit about what he's been up to and his projects. So very excited about that. And then we will have second conversation where we talk about classroom wonders. What are some things that we are wondering in relation to classroom as an educator? And then as usual, some short announcement, photo time, and closing. Right, I don't think we have new members here tonight. We can skip that. All right. Right. What do you think are the skills most sought for in a C-suite executive? And before that, some of you might be asking, what is C-suite? So you've heard of all the C's executive, right? The CEOs, the CFOs, chief financial officers, chief marketing officers, chief human resource officers, chief operation officers, and chief, all that. So these people are called the C-suite executive, right? So as you all know, these people are people with abundant of experience, and they have achieved so much in their work that they probably, that's why they are out there, right? So what do you think are the skills most sought for in a C-suite executive? Can you probably name 3 of them? So you can start. I'll give you guys maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute, put in the chat. Name 3 skills that organizations, that companies look for when appointing a C-suite executive. Yes, Rashid, you wanna speak instead?
So, can you hear me properly?
Yes.
All right. So the 3 qualities that I think are really important in the C-suite executives is empathy, initiative, and quick thinking.
Empathy, initiatives, and quick thinking. All right. Thank you, Rashid. Right. I want to hear from someone else. Perhaps you can give me a different qualities. Let me go through some of your answers here. So Hema said survival skills, negotiation, communication, teamwork. Oh, very good. Radendra, visionary, communication skills again. I see here. Leadership skill. Aisha said critical thinking, creativity again, communication. What about the others? Maybe one more. Ruby said communication, leadership, risk takers. Interesting. Right. Anyone have a different answer that you want to share? All right. Right. So I have another question here for you guys. Do you think educators are also C-suite executives? Why or why not? You can type in the chat, or you can say, you can unmute, you can raise hand if you want to say. So give it a think. Do you think educators are also C-suite executives? Yes or no? Yati said yes. Okay, I only see yes so far. Aisha, Kelly, Emma said yes. Ruby said yes, because most of us practice the skills mentioned above. Ruby. Jasmine said yes. No one of you want to say no. I don't think I belong to the C-suite executive group. Those who say yes, right? Perhaps you also want to share why. Why do you think? Like Ruby mentioned that. Do you also want to support your thoughts as to why you say educators are also C-suite executive, no? Insan, definitely yes, since we need to deal with students, peers, parents, manage teams and outsiders. The first person going to introduce these skills to students before entering real working world as a teacher, we must explore and develop all these skills for the teacher themselves and for the students. This is what Hema said. Okay. Right. I would like to hear from one person not reading from that. Yes, Kelly, go ahead.
I said yes because I think as a teacher we must like manage and also monitor, support, and provide as much support as possible to the student to have them meet their academic goal of themselves and also the class, and it's contribute to the school academic result to report to the state or something like that. So that means it's similar to the way that the chief they run the business. Yeah.
I
So
see. Thank you.
I see the comment that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. All right. Like I mentioned, right, why we want to explore stuffs about C-suite development and what are they are trained for in this chapter in GTC. It's because we sometimes you will hear people telling, you know what, teachers are the CEOs of the classroom. Right? Teachers are the boss of the classroom. However, do we get trained or equipped with the kind of development skills and qualities that the CEOs of a companies are equipped with? These are also some of the things that we can learn by ourselves. Of course, if we are just waiting for other people to provide for us, they will be taking a little bit longer in time to reach out to us. But these are the things that actually been talked a lot on the internet by the experts, so we can explore by ourselves. So this is why we also want to get an outward, like I said, an outward view of how to develop ourselves. So as I mentioned, we heard about people talking, hey, teachers are CEOs of the classroom, right? But how similar are teachers and educators and lecturers in their own classroom, in their own lecture, to the C-suite executive? Let's see. I will give you an overview of what the roles and responsibilities of the C-suite executives are. But the traditional skills, the traditional roles and responsibilities first. Okay. See if you can agree with the similarities of teachers in the classroom. Right? So number one. So people at the C-suite, the executives, right? They are deep subject matter experts. Teachers are masters of pedagogy, right? Teachers are masters of teaching and learning. So those in the business organization, they must master this thing called business acumen. Teachers and educators, they must master pedagogy technique, teaching and learning technique. That's number one, mastering your business. Number two, operational management. In business, of course, they have operations, like if they have stock, inventory, pricing, selling. What about your classroom? The classroom also needs operational management, right? There are things like resources in the classroom that you need to maintain. Things like worksheet, things like what are classroom resources needed by your students. Sometimes we have events, and that events need operational management, right? Yeah, I see Ruby smoking, nodding her head. Yeah, we do that. Okay. Third one, financial management. Okay, not everybody does this, but I'm sure a lot of you have, in a way, experienced this, right? So when teachers, especially class teachers, homeroom teachers, for example, so you need to help the school to collect money, to collect funds from parents, from students, if we're going for let's say school field trip somewhere and the school is asking students to they call this commitment fee, right? So some of you might need to manage finances, or when you are tasked with a program and you get some grants or you get some expenses and you get some money from your schools, right? Fund to fund the program. Then you also need to manage these finances. Same with the C-suite executives, especially the chief financial officer in a company. This person needs to always see the whole in and out of the money flow in the company. And the next one, communications and people management. I've heard some of you say, Kelly was mentioning about performance, right? So in a company, people management does not only limited to hiring and firing in a company, but they also do training, they also do performance management and all that. How is this similar to a classroom or school context, right? So I believe all of us here have done assessment for your students. So this assessment is what called people management in the context of the classroom. What about communications? Well, I don't need to tell you how important it is in a company to communicate like vision, to communicate goals, right? But teachers also do this, if you may agree with me. Teachers also say, in class, we need to bulk up. We need to be the best class. We need to improve on our performance in our subject. Things like this are the commonalities between the C-suite executive in the company and an educator in the classroom. Tell me if you disagree with any of the points and see if these similarities is something that you yourself has experienced over the years. So based on these four, which one have you experienced? Have you experienced one, two, or have you experienced none of it? Which one do you think? Oh, I'm doing this right now. I see you guys are thinking. All right, don't worry. All, Ruby said, I'm doing all of them. What about you? What about the others? Communication and people management, operation management, financial management, business acumen. Which of it that you think you're doing right now? It's okay, you can put in the chat later. I showed Desmond all of it. Okay, okay. Rajendra said mostly communication and people management. Okay. Oh, Kelly. I don't love the answers you my one says. Cool, cool, cool. Right. So from the four traditional roles and responsibility of a C-suite executive that I mentioned just now, there might be one that you do more than the others, like how now Rajendra. So Rajendra mentioned he mostly do communication and people management right, at the moment. So some of you might do one more than the others. So even in a company, right? Actually, you are not expected to do all of this if you have a team of people that do specific, for example, financial management. If you have your own chief financial officer, so this chief financial officer will mostly focus on the financial management, and communication and people management usually falls under the chief human resource officer. So, but there are also instances where companies, they're so small that the CEO is doing it all, like Candy. Right. Okay, so what skills matter most? So I've done some reading from articles, and this is from Harvard Business Review last year, 2020. So I want you to go through the list of skills of a C-suite executive and see across the board what is the trend of the skills that matter most for a C-suite executive. Now, this list here in green is from Harvard Business Review last year. And this one in yellow is from LinkedIn article, also recently from last year. And this one here is from monster.com. So if you're familiar with JobStreet, right? JobStreet is a portal for job seekers. Monster.com is also a portal for job seeking people. So it's a similar business to JobStreet. So on monster.com, there's also an article about skills that matter most for a C-suite executive. I want you to give like 20 seconds, look into all these things. And perhaps you can tell me the majority of the skills here, what is it about? What kind of skills is it exactly? Revisit communication. Aisha said soft skills. Okay, what about the others? You can unmute anytime, yeah? No worry. Ganesh, I see you thinking. Perhaps you want to share what you think. And Jinsan, Emma, Yati, what do you guys think? Emma, survival skills again. What else survival skills? There, if you see here, you will see some sort of trend, right? Oh, these are the skills that belong together. What kind of skills? So Aisha says soft skill, Emarani said survival skills. What about the others? I want to hear from Jinsan, Ganesh. Hi, Lan. That's Rajendra.
Atika, what was the question all about? What are these skills are like?
Okay, so my question is, if you look into all these skills, right, that I've listed here, you will see some common skill name, common skill set. What kind of skill is that? So Hema said survival skill, Aisha said soft skill,
So yeah,
Ruby said communication. What about you? What do you think the
so
trend
I
is?
believe these skills are the 21st century skill that are required for a leader, you know.
Leadership skills in the
Yeah.
21st century. Okay. So Ganesh said leadership skill. Okay. Right. There's nothing. Don't worry, guys. There's no right or wrong answer here. You're not graded at all. Don't feel so. Oh my God. Next time we will do this thing. Okay. So thank you for all your answers. So all of this has a common skill, and the common skill is social and interpersonal skills. If you see there, motivate. Corporate statesperson means you become the spokesperson, and you become some sort of like a, how to say, the representative. You need to talk to your subordinates, but you also need to talk to your external providers. You need to talk to your bosses. So you become a corporate statesperson. High self-awareness, listen and communicate well, facilitate exchange of ideas, enable coordination, right? So things like emotional intelligence, again, listening and communicating, creating shared vision, motivating and inspiring others, again. And you see the empathy, change management, communication, self-awareness, again. So there's a survey on what kind of skills companies are looking for in their C-suite executive that has been done for job description from the year 2000 to 2017, right? So it's an extensive survey. So there has been some changes. There used to be looking for the 4 traditional roles and responsibilities that we explored earlier: the business acumen, financial management, whether or not you achieve the targets and all that. But all that have changed towards the year 2017, when there are more people skills, there are more social or interpersonal skills that are looked for in a CEO, in a C-suite executive, rather than business. Doesn't mean that they're not looking for, business subject matter experience, but they're looking for people who can actually work with other people. That's the trend. So I will be sharing these sources, these articles with you, the Harvard Business Review, the LinkedIn article, and also the article on Monster.com later. So in your free time, you can go through that. Right. These are some of the skills, like important skills for C-suite executive. Executive management skills when I did some search on the internet on Google. So they've gone through like millions of inputs. So these are the skills that Google has come out with. Any one of you? Maybe I can ask for Aisha. Aisha, you wanna help perhaps read the green ones?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, green one, right?
Yes.
Intelligence, negotiation, empathy, and risk management.
Okay, cool. Aisha, you want to pop to one other person?
What about Kelly?
Kelly. Okay, what color do you want Kelly to read?
I think I like that one is purple, right?
Yes, purple.
Yeah, Kelly, purple, please.
I love
Thank
purple
you,
too.
Aisha.
Coincidence. Okay, change management, problem solving, skill management, decision making, creativity.
Cool, cool, cool. You wanna pass over to someone else with a different color?
Okay, I'm sorry. So I need to call the next person, Ruby, please.
Ruby. What color you want Ruby to read?
Okay, go ahead with your favorite color.
My favorite color, so I'll go for pink. Is that okay?
Okay, okay, cool.
Okay, collaboration, integrity, technology, team building, and strategic thinking.
All right, cool. Thank you. We have one more color that like a pale orange. Who do you want? You can call out anyone, Ruby.
Oh, okay. I would like to have Jasmine.
Jasmine. Okay, Jasmine, go ahead.
Okay. You said orange one, right?
Yes,
Mm,
Critical thinking, strategy, conflict resolution, and social skills, strategic planning, I guess.
right. And Timo, or not Timo. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, everyone. I just want to make sure that you're still in the session. Okay, so as I mentioned, these are some of the skills. So these are based on articles from each organization, like Harvard, LinkedIn, and Mercer.com. But this is from research. But you can see that there are commonalities and similarities in terms of what are the current sought after management skills, right? So they are all here. If you see here, they're all people skills. They're all social skills. They're all interpersonal skills mostly. Right. So I will be posing the 3 questions before we go to our first breakout session. So number 1, what are some of the skills from the list you feel is important in carrying out your current work? Okay. Don't worry, I will be showing the list again to you, the one on the search list. Number 2, how are the skills in question 1 help you to perform your task or achieve your goal? Number 1 was asking, so what are the skills that you feel is important in carrying out your current work? Number 2, so how are those skills help you to perform your task or achieve your goal? And number 3, which skill or skills you want to develop next and why? Okay, you can take note of this question first. I will give you about 3 minutes. So you can take note of this question. After 1 minute, I will be showing the list, or maybe I can show it now. Okay. I will be posting the question in the chat box in a bit, so you can look at these skills as a reference for you to prepare for the breakout room session. All right. I will open breakout rooms now. You will have 20 minutes to share and discuss about this with your breakout room partners. You have 20 minutes and I'll see you guys after 20 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. Let me see if everyone's
Finally, I
there.
can see Hema. There.
Ah.
Hi, Anne.
Hi. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so that's our first conversation. So I hope you guys have shared. I went around to the breakout rooms earlier, and I see that you guys have very distinct and different conversation, and the skills that you wanted to explore also are very different, and I really like that. So I was in breakout room 1, and they were talking a lot about effective communication, critical thinking. And then I was in breakout room 2, and you guys were talking about risk taking and situational leadership. And this is something that is really, I think this is really interesting to explore together as well in the future. And I was in breakout room 3, where you guys talked about emotional intelligence. And breakout room 4, we're talking a lot about how to inspire other people and how to pitch. Right? Okay, so a lot of you guys are actually aware of what you want. I would not say lack, but the things that you want to explore in the future. And I would like for you to start exploring from now if you haven't already, and find out how you can actually instill these new skills and new qualities to become a leading leader. Because you see, C-suite executives are like the leader of leaders. You have team managers, you have team lead, project leads, but ultimately you have this chief something officer. So this chief C-suite executives are the leaders of the leaders. Like they are the one leading the other leaders. So you and all of us also can do the same, right? Right. So let's take a little break from our topic tonight. I would like to invite Rajendra to share. Rajendra will be delivering his sharing space tonight. I will stop sharing, so Rajendra, you can share your screen.
Thank you, Atika. So let me share my screen. So is my screen visible now?
Oh yes, it is.
Okay. So should I? So okay. So how to hide this one? Let me hide. Okay. So hello and namaste everyone. So okay. Today I'll be presenting some of the things on what I am actually doing. So once again, let me introduce myself. So my name is Rajendra Kumar Desai. You can call me RKD. So I represent 6th cohort of Teach for Nepal. So where I did my fellowship as a math fellow for 2 years, So currently I'm working as a LEAP LEAP project manager at Collaborative Schools Network. So let me go on to what I've been doing. Okay. So going on to my reflection, so how was my fellowship on? So I would like to, go on to few things that are major highlight of math fellowship, Teach for Nepal fellowship. So I believe, as a Teach for Nepal fellow, as a fellow, I was able to, change the classroom by, setting the norms, letting them step up, enhancing co-curricular activities, taking care about the students' leadership, following the progressive pedagogy, and many more. So there was good bonding with the community and the stakeholders. We also were able to conduct two of major exposure program to students. One was City Chikai Mela, and other was, officer science project. We also conducted first ever Gaupalika level, a football tournament. It was the government level tournament. Another was like, we where there was no sports in the school, we were able to conduct annual school, sports mela, or let's say sports program. So after that, I just felt need of change within the administrative leave, or let's say policy making. As a fellow, we were changing the classroom, but not the school. Uh, so actually, why did I choose this, leadership pathway? What I'm doing right now. Why did I choose this one? Uh, all because, one of so currently our chief executive officer, let's say co-founder of Teach for Nepal, Swastika Shrestha, once said, once you see the problem, you are part of that problem. So that comes under your belt, whether to solve it or let it go. So actually, that was not happening in my head. I changed the classroom, but the schools are not changing. I need to do something. I need to come up with something. So that was always buzzing my head. So that's why I choose this network. So it's collaborative, cool network. We put students first. So I've been working in this organization for the past 4 years. So what do we do? So it's a youth-led, alumni-led organization. We adopt and manage strongly schools. So like what we do is we sign an agreement with SMC and municipality, with the local government, and then we do our work. So as a school, leader, I did 3 years, and I was assigned one of the government school where there was just 57 number of students, which was about to collapse. Local government was about to take action saying that the number of students are not enough to carry, so we have to merge the school. And at the time, our CSN, collaborative schools, was introduced in the school, and we took it as a whole management. We planned, we had kind of discussion with all the stakeholders, parents, students, and we took it into our belt. And within a year, so the 57 number of students changed into 200 number of students. And that was the impact, that was the trust that we earned as a collaborative schools network. So talking about our organization, collaborative schools network, we have been working in two modality for now. So one is whole school management, another is leap project management. So under whole school management, we take a school and we take the management side. We plan day-to-day management. We hire the staffs, we motivate, we train them, we observe the classes. So that's how we do. And okay, this was the school that I was talking about. Just 57 number of students about to collapse. And what did we do as a school leader was, so this is the tough team that we had. So previously they were not kind of welcoming, like they were kind of, so two of the school leaders have come in our school. Now they will let us work day and night. We have to work now. Like they were not that welcoming at the beginning of our work. So that is the assembly, this is the gate culture of the school. As soon as we went as a school leader, we assembly of the school was well managed. Teachers started sitting in gate and welcome the students, greeting the parents, teaching change, teaching pedagogy change. Even teachers started taking the students outside the classroom, thinking that the classrooms should not limit within the four walls. Okay, so what I'm doing for now, as a leap manager is like, so the full form itself speaks a lot, I guess. It is like, the L is the lesson planning. We collaborative schools network, we do have our own plannings that is based on government curriculum. So we have developed expertise, who plan the lessons, and we have kind of, made it as the most important tool of our organization is lesson planning. Because in Nepal, most of the teachers, they go to classroom without being planned, or let's say they never plan their lessons. So most of the school, they do not plan. So E would be the execution, and A would be the assessment, and P is the project. So we do assess our students regularly, every day. There is check for understanding in our classes. I, as a manager, I manage to go and visit one school at a time. Every day I go and visit a school. I observe their classes, I give them feedbacks, I plan with them, I manage the materials for tomorrow's class. So the next day I go to the other school, and it is onto the cycle. So that's how I've been working as. So actually I do have a video. Actually what I'm doing now can be, displayed in like 2 minutes video. So I think, is it visible like full screen, or how to do full screen? I'm not that sure enough.
I think you can double click on your video and it will go double screen. It will go full screen. No.
Okay. It is not being full screen. Okay, like let's see, let's watch on this one.
Maybe you can stop sharing first, and then you share again with audio. There's a tick box that you need to click.
Uh,
So you can stop sharing first, and then you share screen again. Make sure you click on the share audio.
okay, I'll stop sharing first. Okay. Okay, then what to do?
Share screen again, and then make sure you click share audio.
Okay. Okay, I am sharing now.
You will share sound, right?
So actually it's not being full screen.
So the setup slideshow there under transition. Slideshow.
This is slideshow mode.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'll show the video one. Okay. If my screen is visible, I can share the phone.
Okay, you want to try setting up the video again? Okay, go to the slide where the video is and try play that again.
So is my screen visible now?
Yes.
So it's the full screen, I guess. Is it?
No, it's not a full screen.
Okay.
No, it's not full screen. I think, Rajendra, you have to go to the slideshow more down. There is a button.
There's a button at the zoom there.
Okay, just a minute. Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
उसमा हेर न राजेन्द्र, त्यो जुम गर्ने 80% भनेको कति देखाएको छ नि, त्यसको साइडमा त्यो त्यो अझै डाउन गरेर त कर्सर यता अझै साइडमा हो, हैन यता लेफ्टमा लैजाऊ न, त्यसको लेफ्टमा, अझै लेफ्टमा, हैन तल, हैन त्यो उस नि चारवटा विन्डोजकोबाट हो, त्यसको अझै यता साइडमा, त्यसको इन्डमा, हैन यता राइटतिर हो, अझै राइटमा हो त्यो।
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Iti mata aira ki garnes. Let's carry on with this one. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You can play that, and
Okay.
maybe later you can share this video in the Telegram group for everyone.
Okay.
This video have sound, Rajendra?
It has sound, but is is the sound not being displayed? So Atika, you're muted, I guess.
All right, let me help you with that. In the meantime, guys, if you have any question for Rajendra, please ask. I'm locating Rajendra's slide right now. So if you have any question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask Rajendra any question you like.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like video, it could not be played kind of full screen. But then
No
I would be,
problem. No problem. I'll try that for you.
okay. I would be really happy to take some of the questions and
I'm just wondering how many students do you have for one class,
So for one class, actually the student teacher ratio in Nepal is not that even. In terms of government school, it is like, in one class there's 30, 35 or 40, even 40 or 50 as well. So a teacher has to deal with 40 or 50 students.
Right, same here.
Oh. So further, if there's any queries, I would be really happy to address.
How was the age of the students from primary school? What is the age?
So speaking about the age, our parents, they've been sending their students, they've been sending their child at very early age, let's say 2.5 or 3 years, they send it to ECD, nursery. Actually, they think as if schools are like kind of daycare. They'll care.
What is ECD?
So ECD.
Yeah, you were mentioning something about ECD.
Yeah, actually,
So-
ECD is early childhood development. In Nepal, like I mean, the years are not that fixed. So what should be the tentative years for this program? In most of the private school, it is either 3 years or 4 years. Let's say ECD is divided into nursery, junior kindergarten, senior kindergarten, and then one. But in government school, as soon as they're enrolled in nursery, they go to a nursery, and passing nursery, they go to one, and there's huge learning gap.
So the one is age of 7. No.
No, 5.5. So early age.
Means that the one classroom is not a student of the same age. Everybody will be different age.
Yeah, actually, that's the problem that we've been facing quite often time. Actually, the age group of students reading in class 1 is not same. Someone are of age 8 years old. Some are of age 5. So like that, not even ages.
Okay.
So what about assessment? You said every day you assess the students, and is it best on some sort of forum that beforehand were done, or it's different, maybe depending on the age or some sort of? I was really like curious about that. Like,
Yeah, thank you, Jasmine. Actually, after teaching one lesson, let's say today teacher taught a letter A. So first they prepare materials for themselves, like flashcards, or let's say videos or whatever they want to prepare. So they prepare. So they teach the lesson, and at the end of the class, they check for understanding. They do that one. Maybe let's say, okay, now I'm going to assess you all students. See at me. I'm going to give a letter. So what is this? They kind of assess all the students, either individually or bench wise, or in a group at once. So it might be in the written form, it might be in the form of verbal form. We assess our students every day.
that's cool. You use different methods to assess.
Yeah.
Doing great.
All right, I'll be sharing slide here. Let me see. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much for the questions, guys. Right. Okay, so time. Okay. I think you guys are seeing my screen now, right?
Yes.
If you have any further questions you would like to ask Rajendra about his experience in school or experience managing, helping, supporting schools now, you can also put it in chat. I think Rajendra would be happy to take questions and address them in the chat. There are, even myself, I have like a lot of questions regarding like school culture and all that, especially with teacher development. So I would definitely be asking that later. Okay. Let's try to get this on. we will be sharing the video with you guys later, so you guys can also watch it on your own convenience. So I would like to say thank you so much, Rajendra, for that very insightful sharing. I hope you, I think, and I believe others are also starting to become like me, very curious as to what are the Nepalese classroom situations are like, what are the education system in Nepal are like. So don't be shy to just ask away questions and reach out to Rajendra if you have questions about Nepali, about the work that he does, and also education in Nepal. Right. Right. So for our second breakout room session, so we will be talking about classroom wonders, like what are the wonders of an educator about a classroom, right? So I will not be taking over this part, but this portion here will be taken over by Hayati. So Hayati, you ready? Hayati will be sharing with you guys
Okay.
about her classroom wonders. What is Hayati wondering as an educator? You ready, Hayati?
Yes, sure.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Atika. So, I would like to share about class wonders. So, the first question is about what the soft or life skills you observe lacking in your students. So, when we are teaching in our class, from the student that in front of us, we know that every student is need to enhance something, skills, some of skills. So for the second one is, okay. The second question is about how do you start your learning session? Okay. So before you starting your class, what is your first activity that you have done in your class? Okay, and the third one is what small actions you can make to improve classroom practices in order to better prepare students for their life in the future. So we are going to make conversation with this kind of three questions in our breakout room after this. Is it true, Atika?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I will give you guys some 2.5 minutes or maybe 3 minutes so that you can prepare your responses to these three questions that has been posed by Yati here. So after 2.5 minutes ended, I will send you guys to breakout room to share and discuss about these three questions.
Can we have the questions typed out in the chat, maybe?
Yes. Yati, can you help me with typing the questions in the chat?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I'll be sending you guys to your breakout room. So I'll see you guys in about 15 minutes. All right. How was your sharing?
Not 20 minutes.
Not enough time, right? Not enough time.
And wasn't
Oh,
done with the
This is less than 8 now.
so many stories to tell. Not enough time. I
No,
know.
this is less. This is not 20 minutes, Atika.
This is 15 minutes. So I need
Yeah,
to show
it's
you.
not. I don't.
Yeah. All right. Yeti, you want to say something about the questions that you are posing? I believe there is some story behind the questions that you pose for our classroom wonder session.
Yes, yes, sure. Can I start?
Yes, please go ahead.
So I actually discussed with Atika before our meeting tonight. So the first one is what I'm still wondering in class. When I look from my student, the skill that they are lacking. So what is the small action that actually I give them to improve their skills? So for the second question, how do you start your learning session? I actually going through a project with Fun for Life before. I think I was there before, and when I learned about financial literacy, it is about the vision that the student needs to make for their life about 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years after they are having in school for 11 years. In Malaysia, the student will be in school for 11 years. So they are learning a lot of subject, but is it the subject that they are learning in the school they are using in their life, such as English? The first thing in English. So I also learning English for 11 years. But whenever come to the school, to our education or our job, like teaching, I doesn't use any English communication with my family, my members. So that's why I just want to trigger for educators. What is an overview that for the subject that we are teaching them? Is it the subject they are going to use in their life for another 20 years after this? Such as my subject is about teaching in technology for eco conditioning. Is it my student can use the skill in their life after this? Because for my subject is about hands-on, they need to use the physical. Is it 50 years they still can lifting the heavy things to the roof? So that's why I always wondering what is the skills that I actually can integrate in the class before they are going to their life after the life schools. So I also make some project with my student to make clear vision. 5 years after school, what they are going to do. Another 10 years in school, what can they do? So another 20 years after this, what can they prepare for their life? So my student cannot use their physical anymore on 50 years. So they need to be a teacher, be a consultant, but before they can be a consultant or in education line, they must make sure that all the subject, all the basic of the subject that they are leading in class for a long term, they can use in that to fulfill their vision after the schools. So I'm not sure, is it all of you can relate in the class? So I still wondering, is it our subject is really important for their life? Or we need to input some skills that such as communication skills, emotional intelligence, self-awareness. But the first thing that I need to share is self-awareness, because before the article also said that before we know emotional intelligence, we need to know about our self-awareness. So we as educator, we know what is we are lacking. So we always enhance our skill. But how can we make sure that our student is know that self-awareness? So they are know what is they are lacking, and they can input into the life vision between 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years afterwards. Is it okay with that? Though everybody is understanding what I am sharing about.
Don't worry, don't worry. We all got the gist or the essence of what you're trying to say. Thank you for sharing with all of us this question, Suyati. I on a personal level, I do agree with Hayati that a teacher or a parent, we most of the time teach our young ones by modeling. So how best can we model what we want them to be in the future, right? So this is how Hayati has come up with these questions. Like, you observe your students, so you see some of soft skills or life skills that maybe your students are lacking. And this relates to her question number 2. How do you start your learning session? Do we just get into the session and just, okay, page number 34 and that's it? Okay, do this and do that. Okay, your homework is A, B, C, D, E. Or do you start your learning session with relating or giving justification as to why your session today is important for the future of your students in their future life, right? How they can see, how can they relate what they are learning today, 1 + 2 is 3, to how important it is to know 1 + 2 is 3 in the future, right? Maybe you think, what is the big deal with 1 + 2 = 3? But you know what? There's so many fake news, so many misinformation out there that will teach a student 1 + 2 is 4. And your students will buy that, right? So it is very important, no matter how small the knowledge that you're trying to transfer, you help them to see, so this is why I need to learn this. This is why it is important, no matter how boring this class is. This is no matter how many homeworks I get. This is very important for me. And I believe you guys have talked about what small action, what small changes you can make to improve your classroom practices in order to better prepare your students for their life in the future. And I hope this small questions keep you thinking about what you can do for your students, what you can do for your classroom. Okay, if you have your own questions, you can come up to me and we can all share in the next sessions. Okay, again, thank you so much, Eddie, for sharing your questions tonight with everyone. All right, very quick announcement. There are opportunities that you can sign up for, like Rajendra tonight. Rajendra have done his sharing space, talking about CSN and his schools and the situation, the education situation involved. You too can also do the same. So you can reach out to me if you'd like to do your own sharing space, and you can take part and take over any part of the session. You can also reach out to me like what Yati is doing tonight. So she's taking over the classroom on this part. So you two can also do the same. So you can just let me know like what portion of the GTC session you would like to take over, and I will gladly be supporting you on that. We're opening GTC Learning Retreat in December. So if you are interested to join, just let me know. There's also a GTC MBBS student exchange program available, so you can sign up for that as well. Right, if you haven't already, you can update your details on member profile form. I believe most of you have done this, but there are also some who haven't done yet. So you can either look into your emails. There's a link to member profile form, or you can scan the QR code here to get to the GTC member profile form. We're trying to build a directory of members so that you can easily reach out to other groups. Right. Share your reflection with us and connect with us at Global Teacher Conversation. If you're putting it up on Facebook, we're on Facebook. I'm also want to share with you member participation. Okay. So there's a question about what is member participation about. So let me just really quickly share with you the participation from members. For example, if you want to take over the session, GTC session, and host the session, or if you want to take over just some parts of the session, like Hayati tonight, so you can do that. Okay, if you need more details, you can reach out to me directly. Right, let me put in the chat. I believe I have promised you the link to the readings. So I put the links to the articles for your future readings on the skills that we've explored tonight. So that's from Harvard Business Review, LinkedIn, and monster.com. I've already put in the chat. All right, so Hema will be helping us with water time. Hema, please. So everyone, your videos, please. And are you angry about something?
So since we have a 16 of us, but in my screen only appeared 12.
Okay, so you need to do this twice. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 12. So some more 4, but I couldn't see the second page. But okay, more smaller.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to click. So
Aisha, Kelly.
Please show your beautiful smiles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait. Let me take another picture, please. Okay, and another freestyle, please. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Right.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. We'll be seeing you guys on our third general session on the next 2 weeks on 19th of August, same time, same day. Look out for email updates for upcoming session. Please take care. There might be changes in the weather, and some of you might not be well. So hopefully you guys can take care of yourself, and we'll see each other in the next 2 weeks on the 19th of August. Thank you so much, everyone, and good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Good
night,
night, everyone.